So
Greetings.
you just
How we
sorry, go
feeling
on.
today here with the brother Smudger, and we are back here again after 6 months of a hiatus in our connection. How you been, brother?
I've been good, man. I've been through some ups and downs, bit roller coaster, really. It's been a lot of turns and spins and loop the loops, and it's all been worth it because it's come to today. As good as today is as good as it could be, really. With,
Mm,
with the lessons I've learned over the past 6 months, well, 9 months really, since I met Lucy. Been a testing time, but it's been trials and tribulations on many levels.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is a I think for everybody right now. We got a lot going on in the world as well.
Mm,
Elections coming up and all that. So it's a very important time to really go within and to reflect on where you are in life, where do you want to be, and bigger than anything, what are the lies that you have been telling yourself that have been preventing you from being able to access truth? Because we are just being fed from the media constantly all these different bombardments of uh, what are really just propaganda, in my personal opinion.
yeah, pseudo half lies, half truths,
Hmm.
and a lot more lies than truths these days.
Right.
Yeah,
And
we used to have a percentage of lies to truths. For us to believe the lie, you have to have an element of truth. You have to have a large element of truth. It's for the lie to actually carry any weight. We've got to the point now where the lie is that big, it's just right in your face. And the one lie was supported by every other lie after it. And now the lies are getting pulled apart like a piece of thread is getting pulled for miles and miles.
yes, and that's where I keep saying it's the age of information where we are presented with the opportunity to know everything externally through the internet, through the connection that we have in that way, or we can choose to know it through our own innate
Mm.
connection with the divine
Yes,
nature.
yes, yes, brother. I love that. Sorry, I've been just intervene there.
Yeah, of course. It
You
comes
have,
in
you
either
have
way.
to.
You got to.
Yeah, of course, man. Like you are the world. We are the world. You are the
Mhm.
world that plants seeds and creates new worlds. Little boys, little girls, and
Yeah.
we figure ourselves out. We figure the world out. We find ourselves. We find the world because you are the world inside out. You are a light speed projector projecting the world with your third eye. Your uh, your project manager,
Mhm.
project
Mhm.
manager, and we're all managing to manage ourselves. Yeah, I like that, mate. It's good.
That's an interesting breakdown right there, and this is also what we're going to get into today. That the reason you call yourself the Smudger Smith, I'm sure also has to do with the wordsmith. And for people that don't necessarily know what that is, would you maybe be willing to break down a little bit on what it is that you were getting into there when you just made
Okay, so yeah, of course, man. So I look at words, not just the word, but the phonics, the phonetics that create the word, and the etymology behind the phonics and phonetics. How it's spoken, not just how it's spelt, not just how it's cursed, but it's why it was actually meant, what was actually meaning, sorry, when the word was created, the energy behind it, and the purpose for the name of the word. So I got nicknamed Smudger when I was in the army many years ago,
hmm
and it's a nickname that's quite commonly given to people called Smith. You get either called Smithy, Smiggy, Smudger, or many different Smiths, many
okay.
different many different types of Smudger and Smiggy and Smith. Or Smithy or Smythe. There's it's quite a multi multifaceted name maybe. But I got called Smudger, and Smudger. When I researched the name Smudger, I realized it meant to smudge it's like to sage.
Mm,
So it's like, okay, so if it's to sage, then what does saging do? Well, saging is like it's dispelling negative
yeah.
energies, negative spells, negative energies, negative omens. So I'm looking at like what does Smith mean? Well, Smith means man, strike,
hmm
smite, or rock. I mean, the very first occupation was a smith, a
Uh,
creator, yeah, you know, the occupation, occupation of man, strike,
mm,
might, to hit, to change, to mold, to manipulate, and
that,
then yeah, and then man, you know, as an occupation of man, a rock, you know, well, what is man? Man is rock, so we're all a rock. All us men are rock. We're there to be
mm,
leaned on, whereas a man is of the house, of the you know, the figurehead of the house, to be leaned on. So, you know, looking at my names, because I thought, well, if the way in is out and the way through is in, and you have to look within, then how far do you look within? Do you look at just your I don't know, your brain? Do you just do like meditation and see what comes to you, or do you? And that's what comes to me. You know, I did look inwards first, and that gave me an insight to myself, and thought, oh, if I have to look at myself, then I've got to see where my path's led to, why it's led to it. It's led to why I've done the things I've done, what lessons I've learned from them, and in doing all this, I figured out a lot more about the world than I'd ever really think I'd ever realize.
mm. I mean,
So
that it shows right there in your usage of the language, because so many people unconsciously don't even consider how the words that they're using could be impacting their day-to-day life and their subconscious. This is like such a important thing for people to know, because if not, you go around casting spells on yourself in a way throughout the day that could bite you back and you won't even know it, and it's like
yeah,
greatest well to sharpen the mind.
yes. Well, to elaborate on how it affects you, the first person, not person, the first man or woman to hear what you're saying is yourself.
Mm,
Your cell, because your trillions of cells hear every vibration your voice speaks. So
mm-hmm.
if it's energy, emotion, which is heart, frequency of mind, which is thought. When you thought about it, you've thought about it. When you've thought
Yeah.
it, you've beat it. When you beat it, you've fortified it. So I see it as your energy and your frequency of mind creates the vibration of the tongue or the body. And this creates everything in the world, because you are the world, and therefore we're all a perception of God, or God's
Mm-hmm.
perception. You know, God uses us and we use God. God uses us to experience, to try us. We're all being tried by God. But you,
Mm-hmm.
you, you can't try God. I've been tried by God. You can't try God until you've tried enough that you've learned your own lessons and become enlightened. Because I believe that man is God asleep and God is man awake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that leads me on to words, and words are, without words, what have you got to use to describe things? You can use sign language, but sign language isn't the. I don't know, I would say it's 1 second. I've got someone coming through. All right, you're good. Sign language isn't is descriptive. It's more of a way of using communication with a disability, because you're not able to
Mm-hmm.
do the things your body's supposed to do. And I'm not saying that disabilities aren't real, but I don't believe that they are supposed to be a thing. To any human, I think that we're all born perfect.
Absolutely.
Um, and the disability, even if you call it a disability, and they're not able to do the things that we can do, especially born with the disabilities, I would say that's not a disability to them, because that's just what they know. They don't know anything different, and therefore the world around them is the world around them for a reason.
That's right. And the sign language, as you say there, it's you know, kind of what we were for people that have that disability. Um, it's
Yeah,
people that they're able to communicate in a way that we consider it
symbolic.
a disability, but maybe
Yeah.
in other ways, it's also a gift.
Well, actually, I want to elaborate on this, because it's actually
Yeah,
sign language is symbol language. It's symbols.
exactly.
And if it's symbols, everything comes from symbols. Everything's signs and symbols that create characters, which are letters, and letters which create syllables, and phonics, which create them words. So if a man's using just his body to create body language, well, we're just creating a symbol of man.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the insights I get. It's not something that I'm like, I don't go researching this stuff in a book. I
Right.
don't go reading books. I just observe. I have a way of looking internally and back engineering in my mind. It's like a back engineer what it is I know to press, and then I connect the dots between one thing and another.
And this is what I wanted to also get into in that, because For you to even get to that point to be able to observe, at least I know for myself, to get a sharp mind, you need a sharp body as well, like a great amount of discipline. And you mentioned before how you were in the military. Um, do you think that that played a role in terms of like building out the discipline for you? Or what exactly are some of like the major points in your life to where things started to just click for you?
Oh, mine's been a bit of a weird and dark world I've lived in, really, So, you
Yeah,
find the
yeah,
lightest light and the darkest dark. And going in the
right,
army, I wasn't the best soldier. I wasn't the best soldier by far. I made a lot of mistakes and did a lot of stupid things, but it's them mistakes and stupid things I did that created the man I am today. I'm not saying that I was good as a soldier. I'm not saying I'm good as a boxer. I'm not saying I'm good as a criminal. I'm not saying I'm good as an inmate in jail. I'm not saying I'm good at any of them things. What I'm saying is
right.
I was that bad at a lot of things I did that I learned so many more deeper, harder lessons.
Mm,
And the military certainly taught me a lot of lessons about camaraderie, about backstabbing, about the darkness. And it's like when I was growing up, my father wasn't around and I had a stepdad. I'm not saying he was a bad stepdad, but he
mm,
wasn't he wasn't someone that you would call a great dad in the sense of it didn't teach me very much in a positive. He taught me more in the positive because I watched the negative or I watched the things that he couldn't do and didn't do, and
right.
I surmised with myself and summarized that that isn't right and it shouldn't be done like that. And I was trying to be the better dad because I'd seen the things that I wanted, knew the things that I wanted as a child. I wanted truth, I wanted love,
Mhm.
I wanted cuddling, I wanted motivation, or I wanted to be cheered on. And because of all these things that I did want and that I didn't feel I was getting, that's the things I wanted to give to my children when I got older. And I failed at that as well in some cases, and in others I wasn't so bad.
Mm,
You know what I mean? So yeah, I believe that military helped me in a lot of ways because of the negative stuff I did or the negative stuff I had done to me in there. You gain character through pressure and stress, and you gain resilience.
yeah, I mean, diamonds make pressure is what they say, right? Yeah,
Yeah. And we're all carbonized being pressurized into shiny diamonds.
that's it.
Yeah, man. So yeah, that was my. I mean, that's really what gave me the discipline of mind because I believed in my own thoughts. I believed in my own way of learning, and I had good discernment, and I was able to connect the dots, and therefore I knew I was a bit more of a deeper thinker than most others because they didn't
Mm,
always get it, and they was people used to say to me, "Why do you know all this stuff, Smug? It sounds a bit far fetched, or some useless facts." But then useless
mhm.
facts become very very useful in the future because the useless facts are the answers to the questions I want to ask.
Yes, that's it. It's sometimes the devil's in the details, is what they say, right?
The
So
devil is in the detail,
if
100%.
you
The
are
devil is
able
in
to
the detail.
look at the details, you're not able to see in the most smallest things how there is a something that you have to pay attention to, then it'll
Yeah.
just come back to bite you later on. So it's really uh at least one lesson I've learned that it seems to apply here to your situation is like pay attention to every small thing that happens in your life, even when it's
Yeah.
seems like it's completely insignificant.
Significant. Yes. Because
Something
it's
that
the small things, man. You've got to have a really really good observation of things. You've got to expect that anything that comes out of the woodworks, anything that just hits you from a blind side, or even the subtle things, that it all means something if you really look into it.
yes.
Everything means something, right down to your address, your date of birth, your star signs, what happened on the day you were born. You go look on your calendar, look on the internet, and say, what are the main things that happened around the world on this day? You know, why am I here on this day? I was born on time. We're all born on time. None of us
Yeah.
are, none of us are late or early. You know, so you're born on your due day. Your
Mm.
due day. So
Oh.
like you're born into your duality. You're born to duality, to experience
Mm.
duality, to duel, to duel with someone else when you're conversing, speaking to someone else. That's a universe and universe conversing
Mm.
together. So that would be a duality. You're duetting, and then they're trying to take your jewels in the judicial system.
So it's the duality that we're born into is the duel that we have to
Yes,
battle to overcome so
Yeah.
we can become one with everything again
Yeah.
where we got in here. And that's
But
the point of the game.
how do you duel? How do you joust? You duel with your gun, your tongue, your sword,
Uh-huh.
you're fencing off with your sword, and they're trying to pen you in.
They're trying to pen you in with the sword.
Yeah, yeah,
Mm,
they're trying to herd you with their tongues, and when you're being herded because you've heard it wrong instead of
mm,
hearing it right,
hmm
the wolf in sheep's clothing is going to get you.
Yes, there it is. So the sword, break that down for us a little bit here. What does that sound like? I mean, the S,
The word,
back into, if you put it at the end, is words. So to be
well, well,
the,
it's an anagram. It's an anagram because, well, if you put the S at the end for word, well, for words,
hmm
and you only have one S for the pass, it's still pass because it's
mm,
extended as an S. It's still pass. So they take the S from the end, and the password is the passwords, and our words are the ones that are going to pass us. We're going to pass through the communicational key, the key of communication, which is words. So if you think about that, you've got to look into if the key to communication is our words, and our language is our gateway, to speak to each other, to gain clarity, to gain knowledge, to gain understanding, understanding, overstanding of each other in the situations we're in. Then the key to the prism cell
yes.
will be open. Will open us. It'll send us to a new color dynamic, another universe, one that's got different spectrums.
hmm And that's where I was going to say the quote, the pen is mightier than the sword, is what we're always taught.
Uh,
So if you're
and
able to, like you said, to joust and to duel with this, the passage of
passage, the
communication. Yeah.
passage.
So you're
Yeah,
passing age or passing information because
yeah,
throughout the ages, that we've had different information that's come through. That is what allows you to effectively communicate ideas
yeah,
through the
yeah.
words with
So,
clarity and precision.
so then we go back to this. When you're first born, the first thing you do before you can cry is what?
Before you cry is, I mean, I would say, I'm trying to think back to when I was a baby right now.
How
Um,
do you cry? What's the first thing you do before you cry? You can't do anything else unless you do this.
oh, you have to like whine or something, like,
Breathe inwards.
oh, breathe. Okay, I was about to say,
You breathe inwards,
yeah.
inwards, inwards. You breathe
Uh,
inwards,
I got you now.
and you breathe outwards because you're speaking words, but outwardly. When you're breathing outwards, you're speaking outwards, aren't you?
Mm,
Yeah,
I forget that the first
speak,
thing that we
speak
ever
out.
born in this life with is the breath. It's the last
Yeah,
thing we take with us
because
when we
life and death is carried in every breath.
yes.
Breathing in, life. Breathing out is death.
The one constant
Yeah.
every
So,
single
well, the one constant is change, and without that
right.
without change happening, you're not happening because your breath is always just happening.
Yes.
You can't
Yes.
control it forever. So if you're breathing inwards and outwards, downwards and upwards, and backwards and forwards, and the only
hmm
way out is inwards, and the only way out is in words, by speaking your
In
truth.
words. That's gonna take a moment to sink in. Gotta let
All
that.
right, man, it's cool, man, it's cool.
The only way to go inwards is in words. So understanding the to gain the key to the prison is the prism, like the holographic prism.
Yeah,
So that I just wanted to bring that up because you mentioned about the color of the universal spectrum of light, and
yeah,
that we're always even in the Bible it says like, let thine eye be single and thy body will be filled with light. Tell us about how that helps you go inwards, and what the prism has to do with that, because I know that there's always been a
yeah.
about that.
So the program runs the hologram, and the
Mhm.
program that we're speaking is keeping the hologram going. keeping the
Mm.
hologram as they want it. You want these dogs 1 second? Are these coming in now? Come on, in. Dogs. It's just the dogs.
Okay.
So to keep this prism going, and we keep speaking the programs that they're putting into us by repeating the babble that there's babbling on TV, and we keep repeating and resonating and revibrating the very same things that they want us to speak. So we'll keep creating that prism cell that we're in. Because we're only imprisoned into the theater, and we're all in fear when watching the theater. So if we all get on the same page and start speaking good instead of bad, speaking of peace instead of wars, then wars won't come and bad won't come, and peace will come and good will come. Because our vibrationary tongue and our vibrationary body creates the 3D vibrationary world. And you can't get into 4D or 5D without breaking through the 3D first. And if we all start to speak together, that creates an echo chamber. But I will say that this is what I believe. There's no way on earth that's going to happen unless we all get our feet back on the ground, take our souls, our plastic souls off our soles of our feet, reconnect as conduits and conduct ourselves with love and peace and unity. And if we all think it with good intent, feel it with good love, and vibrate on the ground together with the resonance of the earth, I think it could create a massive conscious wave, like a tsunami. Because ultimately, you're the conduit of God. The seat of the soul is upon your third eye.
You're with the audio.
Yeah, did that.
There we go.
Playing games on. Playing games.
Is
based
on
Yeah.
how you conduct yourself. Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Says from your connection, it's it's the conduit, as you mentioned, like a conduit has you also can look at like an electrical conduit that connects different points of electricity, and we're also electrical beings. So the better that we can create this this conduit connection, just like you have all the wires that are plugged in behind a wall that make your outlet work, you have to learn how to rewire those ports by conducting yourself, being able to rewire those neural pathways and conducting yourself in a way that's most beneficial or most in alignment with your natural state of being.
Well, think of it this way. If you're the conduit and you're a live wire.
There you go.
Live wire needs to be grounded for connection. And we've all been disconnected from source.
Yeah.
The sorcerer is trying to pour the wrong sauce in.
There it is. Yeah. We've been connected. Not that we don't have it all within us all the time, but that we've forgotten our connection.
Yeah. Well, that's the spell put upon us, we've been put under a spell of bad luck.
That's the
yeah. So my belief is that we are all kings, we are all kingdoms, we all creators of our own worlds. If we choose to break free of the shackles and the people that have subjugated us, and subdued us, so we can't speak on what we were meant to.
Subdue yourself.
Yeah. So we've been paying our dues for a long time, but we've not been paying the right dues and paying the wrong dues. And now the chat where it is with DWE's due runs. So and just so you know that this isn't a slur of any sort of type of anti-Semitic, whatever you want to call it. Anti-Semitism is a lie. No one's carrying on about Jews that are doing bad. They're carrying on about Jews that are doing bad. But there's a lot of people that are following that same faith, or the Talmud, that don't fully understand what it is they're following, and therefore you're only going to know bad is good if you've only been told that bad is good.
Mm. Yeah, it's all just a trap for division to keep us separated.
Separation, yeah.
As long as they can do that, then we've lost our connection or we've forgotten. And like even in the word separation, you see like
Separate.
yes, and I was gonna say
Separate.
which is like the serpent, the Sephira. And the serpent is always kind of known, the Sephira, as like essentially a serpent in like what they call in the Kundalini. It's like the serpent energy that rises up your spine, and if you're unable to allow that energy to flow properly, then that coil or that wrapping of that energy conduction has a misfire somewhere, and that it prevents you from being able to access that state, where like your spine is fully erect and your spine allows you to conduct the energy throughout your channel, and spine.
We're the only mammals that are in line vertically.
Mm-hmm.
All our chakras, yeah. That's quite mad, then. It's quite crazy. And what we're doing on these phones is they're disaligning our chakras.
Right, for looking downwards.
Yeah.
That's why I just had to correct my posture even as I was saying that, because that's how the words can help you as a reminder in every moment.
Yeah, man. So that's the thing about it, see, because it's not just our phones that are doing it, but it's our shoes with the heel. When you have a heel on your foot, you no longer heel by touching your sole to the ground. You're actually healing at all. You're being healed like a dog. So get out on ground on your feet, and not only that is, but they want us to be crouched over. They want us to be looking down instead of looking up. And this is a thing they do to us from birth, because you're a perfect man for a perfect world, but you're an imperfect man for a perfect world. They make you more imperfect, so you can't figure yourself out in a perfect world. And this is because as soon as they put shoes on your feet and they change the dynamics of how you walk, they actually disconnect you, and they also realign you, disalign you. And now your back and your neck and your lumbar are all out of sync. And now you're looking down, naturally looking down, you haven't adjusted your head.
There it is. Yeah, why are you looking down?
They're very clever. You got to know that God chose his opposition, and his opposition was the exact polar opposite to him. And therefore, intelligence is just a mirror, is a reflection, is a AI mirror, artificial of the artificial.
The artificial is the opposite of the heart official.
Yeah. They're trying to take the he out of the heart.
Oh, man.
So there's no masculine to defend the feminine.
Right. So they took the man out of the equation, which gives it the balance.
Stop it, girls. No, come on, please.
So there's a polarity there that's not
present. Girls, I'm on in. Please stop it. Come on.
Oh, those are your kids that you got with you as well?
They're the Mrs. little girls. They're
beautiful.
They're crazy, man. They're funny though. And
what if raising two little girls also taught you about this?
Well, actually, mate, it's only been 9 months, but I've got a little boy and a little girl. Yeah.
Okay.
I've got a little boy and a little girl that I don't see.
Gotcha.
Okay. That I haven't. My little boy I haven't seen for 2 years, and I'm not seeing my little girl for 11 years now.
Oh man. Okay. Now I got you.
For my own mistakes and my own doing, but also it takes two to tango, it takes two to argue, and it takes two to raise children, and the village, But yeah, I don't have the I don't have connection. So, but it is what it is, bro. I'm doing my best to get in front so I can see my boy and my girl. But this is part of my awakening. You see, I see it as part of my journey. I have to release a little bit to learn some, to gain a lot, and we're all doing it for our children right now. Even though I don't see my children, and I'm not really fully connected in a physical. I know that, you know, spiritually, they'll know that
Hmm.
I'm doing something. You know, I'm putting myself out there to open people's eyes, to create a better
Hmm.
future for them.
Oh man, that is so huge what you just shared. And I think it goes directly back into what you were saying as well about the artificial versus the heart official,
Yeah,
because that's what I think the powers that be, you could say, they want to keep us numb from being able to tap in fully to our heart. That is where, you know, our innate drive to be uh, in a family unit or to love one another, you know, kind of gets lost, and it's just all based on logic. You know, that's what the artificial
yeah,
reality is. And
yeah.
but it's from what you were saying, this is part where I was a little bit I wanted to get some clarity on, was the artificial has only the feminine principle and it's lost its masculine because it
Oh yeah,
the he.
because the woman is the tree of life, where the tree of
Mhm.
knowledge. Because
Uh-huh.
you
Okay.
need knowledge. You need knowledge for life. Yeah,
Right.
but the woman is the dark, because the woman is the womb, and where does the light grow? In the dark.
Mm, mm,
The woman is the wisdom, which is darkness, you know, and the man is the light, which is the pen. The pen is mightier than sword. The penis is mightier than sword.
there we go.
Yeah.
Pen
So, and
Pennant.
the pen is writing the code into the womb, the wisdom in the dark room to develop the image, and the image is God.
Mm, mm. That's why they say man is made in the image of God. So because it's the man that has to go with the pen is rising into the womb,
The
into the
womb,
womb.
and we actually man starts off as woman.
Mm,
That's why we all have nipples.
uh-huh.
And Mother Nature knows best. So Mother Nature knows how many men and women there is in the world, how many feet are pattering on the ground, how many souls are running about, and how many people are speaking, man or woman. So Mother
Mm,
Nature always knows best, and Mother Nature doesn't make mistakes. And therefore,
mhm.
there's not too many women, there's not too many men in the world. Until we start fucking around with trans
Right.
and, creating an unequal amount of one or the other.
Yeah. So that's where this whole transgender movement comes into play is
Yeah.
uh, there's a clear focus on invalidating um,
And
the perception of gender, what it actually means. So you're saying like, I mean, this is very critical right here because there's a lot of factors at play that are causing people to want to go transgender or even for their sexuality preferences. So this is like a feeling of disconnection or discomfort in the natural processes that have been created for us to unite with the, you know, the divine masculine and feminine principles. So dive deeper a little bit if you can into that and what that means.
well, well, it's every animal and every sex of animal has a important job, has its own ways of life.
Mm,
Like you know, Black Widow will eat her mate once she's mated with him,
hmm.
and that keeps the natural order from because they obviously give birth to a lot of spiders, and
Right.
I'm guessing most likely more male than female, or more male than male, more female than male. There'll be some sort of balance there.
Hmm.
Um, a snake, not snake, a cat, and a cat or a dog or you know, any sorts of animals, they have their own ways of raising their pups or the kittens,
Right.
and therefore, you know, we all have a place in life, including women and men. You know, women have cycles. They have cycles within cycles. They have winter, autumn, spring, and summer within
Hmm.
within every month, every 4 weeks, and therefore women change very regular every week, obviously, for their types of mood they're in, the types of rest they need, the amount of energy they have at an individual point changes their day-to-day routines or natural day-to-day routines. So we've been taking out these natural cycles. Now women have been made to work or been made to believe they should work. Made to believe they should be equal to men. When man and woman are equal in that way, they are equal in every way.
Mm,
do this. So when they do this, they're taking everything out of the natural rhythm of life, out of the natural algorithm. The algorithm of life is being hijacked by
algorithm.
the
Yeah.
system. Well, I always look at, see, when we look at these words, I don't look at AL as just AL. I look at it as all, because it's just because it's got an L missing. You can say it's not all.
Right. Right.
You know,
Nothing new under the sun.
no, nothing under the sun. We just need to respell it out. We need to relearn our language in a different way. We need to be more conscious about the things we're saying, because an unconscious mind creates a very unconscious, sleepwalking world.
Mm. If you never question anything, you'll just kind of be naturally giving up all your freedoms and all your rights, because there are those that seek to take advantage of the fact of people that don't ever question anything, you know.
Mm, mm.
There's no way to know the truth if you just take the narrative that you're told. And just like with any major profession too, you always have to look at all the details, question everything if you want to solve the problem, you know, find an innovative solution. And
I think we're all Q. We're all Q. We have a question. We have the problem. We have the
keep
answer.
right, the quest ion,
Yeah, the quest ion. Yeah,
it's the ultimate quest.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, we're all in a queue. We're all in a queue. We're all unique. We're all unique queue. We're all one queue.
Hmm.
No one's above me. No one's below me. No one's in
There
front.
you go.
No one's behind. We're all in line. We're all in line because we're all uniquely bespoke. I mean, we're all uniquely bespoke. We speak with our unique voice, and the
Mm,
spoken wheel fits the we feel of life, and we all feel in this life, and we all speak together, and we all have our natural tensions and pressures put upon us, and we create them shiny diamonds and spoke.
mm, mm. Oh man, dropping gems after gems right now. I can't even tell
Oh
you.
man.
People that don't know how to even break this stuff down, if they wanted to be able to ask that quest ion, the ultimate quest ion, to know thyself, like, what we're taught, even ions are, they're essentially like, you have a positive and you have a negative, and that's what is like the most fundamental kind of state of matter. So this is the ultimate quest ion, is to know who you truly are.
Yeah, yeah, exactly that. Yeah, because once you know you
So
are,
for people that
you
are just starting on this journey, they've never looked into any of this. What's one thing that they should start doing when it comes to like asking the right questions? Like, what would you say is the number one thing that people should start doing?
the first thing is, clean yourself, get back into nature, meditate.
Mm,
People think
there
it's
it
woo
is.
woo, woo woo, but it's not woo woo. It's letting go and releasing. It's going
Hmm.
out and being judged by everybody else and realizing that they can't actually judge you. Only judge yourself. Don't judge yourself for the things that you're not doing that they're doing.
Hmm.
Judge yourself for the things that you are doing, for the things you're doing. Like I believe in karma. I believe in energy is karma, and all energy put out is energy. You're gonna get back eventually. Kind of come back straight away, but that's the way of the world. Energy moves in its own way. It doesn't lie. No, there's no escaping the energy putting out. You're gonna get back.
Oh,
So just know that karma's real. And the karma is real. Energy can't
yep,
buy, and energy can't destroy them. Just put out good energy, man. Just shine up everybody else out. You're an umbrella.
absolutely.
You're an umbrella whilst you're a spotlight.
Hmm. There it is. And just going back to exactly what you said before about uh, the natural cycles of life, take that are innately, inherently, like if you look at anything out in nature as well, like all the animals, they have a innate mechanism to release stress or to release fear. you know um, like a bird will
Right.
flap its wings, or some kind of innate mechanism. And especially the thing that they say, like, we have the four functions in the human body: to either fight, to fuck, to uh man, what
Eat,
are the other two? Feed, yes, and then um feed and,
sleep.
well, it's got to be a F.
That's it. Fight, fuck, feed, fight, fuck, feed, and feel.
Feel, yeah, there it is. Um,
Yeah.
so in psychology, that's like the first thing that you learn about, that's kind of what we have sort of evolved from, so we have the ability beyond the animals where, that's the only thing they can do is feed, fight, flee, and fuck, you know,
But we can think,
exactly. And that's what,
and that's what changes it, because we have, we can describe, we can reason, we can rhyme, we can imagine better world. Like, if a lion or a tiger or an alligator could think of these things, then they would progress and um, they would create in a different way. They would create. They wouldn't just destroy but they do create. Obviously, they create more of themselves, but the imagination doesn't get passed on because there's no imagination.
mm-hmm,
You know what I mean? So, but I would say that another thing to do for your waking, if you're just waking up, and I don't really like that term, but waking up. We're all awakening together. No one's awake. No one's awake
mm-hmm,
at the final stage except for God Himself. And for that, just I said that 555. So, so I would say that little soul is God nodded, nod from God. Um,
mm-hmm,
is cry, think, feel, and cry. The three things you're going to do to try is you're going to think about the things you've done, the things you've been, the things you've helped people with, and the sad times, the bad times, the good times, the amazing times in life, and you feel them while I was thinking them, and then cry. If you want to cry, if it's an emotional event in your mind, regressing is emotional, and to look at the things you've done and been is to release, release your
mm-hmm,
old self and learn. Because I look back at the lessons I've been taught in my life and the lessons I've taught other people, and when I thought it wasn't wrong, and I look back now and I think actually I could have done this better, or done this better, could have changed this, I could have done that. Don't regret because you don't regret the thing that I'm thinking about because I've learned a lesson from it, and I figure out
mm-hmm,
all the little things that I've learned from that, and how it better serve me in my future. And if I did learn from it, and if I didn't, then I think of what I could have done, and then I
mm-hmm.
learn that way. And in doing this, when you're releasing tears from your eyes, you're actually releasing memories because water is memory. And the two-tier system stops the two-tier system from being a two-tier system.
Hold on, that last part. I just want to make sure I got that. Just repeat that one more time.
If you cry, you release
Mm-hmm,
the memories with the emotions within the tears. There's water in memory consciousness. And everything's holistic, everything's connected. So the water you release from your head, from your brain, from your heart is energy, is good energy and bad energy. You're giving life back to the world, you're giving memory back to the world, you're helping the world
right.
improve itself. I mean, any information creates the formation of the world, and the information you've got in your head creates the formation of your world.
There you go. Oh man, that was just so deep. So, I had to just let that sink in because it goes back to what you were saying earlier. Before you can cry, you have to breathe. And the breath is the spirit. The breath is like, your access to the all knowing, essentially. So,
Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi.
yeah, so it gives you access to memory. And when you said that right there, when you're crying, you're releasing memories. And you need that in order to be able to heal yourself. And so, in order for us to be able to fully release our emotions, we have to be able to tap into the memories, that we've had. That's what it's always triggered by. But the biggest thing that prevents people from being able to release that is that they store it so deep inside, they forget, they choose to forget, because it's like too much for them to deal with head on. So it gets repressed into the psyche or into the subconscious. And then it's only until you're able to have something that can help you find out what's a release, through the act of crying or through breathing, through your breath work, and I've had many sessions as well where I've done like holotropic for like an hour straight. And then all of these like repressed traumas and memories start coming up and you learn how to look at it from love. Like that's the best energy in the world that exists. That's the only thing that really registers, um, as a universal, life-giving energy is love. So
Oh,
you learn how to
positive.
see it, how it's all different expressions of love, and that's how you heal yourself. And then for the world to heal itself, everyone and everything has to just realize that it is all based off of love. That's the one thing that makes the world go round, as a lot of, I think there's a famous quote about that, that says that. Um, and it looks so much like the opposite if you're paying attention to just the wars or the violence or the crime or anything that may appear negative, but the world actually needs all of it, because as we said here in the beginning, it always comes back full circle. Whatever, yeah, whatever you, um, experience in life that is painful is what is your fuel to grow. And you would never know what it is to have love in all of its infinite forms if you had nothing to compare yourself to. So that's, at least for me, I'm going to say that those are the greatest realizations I've had when it comes to healing, myself, and then to see the lesson, in every single experience that I have. So that just brought up a really major point, and I just had to let that sink in. And I want to hear if you have anything else to expand on for that too.
I would say, self-realization is realization of how powerful and strong you can be. We're never going to be strong if we're not emotional, if we don't act emotions. I mean, emotions are the energy we put into motion, and everything is energy motion. So if you're doing it with negative emotions because you're not really figuring yourself out, the emotions you're putting out, then you're going to continue feeding the system. And your self-realization, so your eyes actually seeing it for it because the cell inside is seeing itself. I mean, like, we've all got Christ within, none without. We've all got crystalline blood, rhombus crystal, third eyes. But the world is crystallized, but it's carbonized, and what's carbonized is pressurized, and therefore we're all just a fractal, and we're all just at a different level of the crystal, the diamond.
Yep, that's where that quote, "Let thine eye be single, and thy body will be filled with light," comes from.
Yeah, of course, man. I believe that the center of the world is actually a black rock, black diamond. It turns into a diamond. It vibrates at such a resonant frequency that it creates magnetism. That magnetism creates all densities of all matter and fluctuates. It changes its light every so often. The light that it sends out is like it changes the kaleidoscope below.
That just made me think of the company BlackRock when you mentioned that, and how maybe that's the reason why they call it BlackRock.
Yeah, it's
keeping people from accessing the diamond of the infinite wealth of treasures that lie within, the greatest treasures, that we all have, by they're the number one company that gets us to buy into a system that relies on the external, through the financial means to gain our value.
Yeah, it's inverted. Like
right.
The black rock is good. I believe Christ was the black rock.
Right, the Antichrist.
Christ is a black rock. The fake light is the Antichrist. And therefore they've capitalized our minds. So we believe that even the black rock is a company, a corporation, a corpse, dead.
Corpse. Right.
Yeah. And everything's inverted, right down to the words that get inverted now: bad, sick, queer, gay, all good words, but they've been made into an extreme word. They've made it extreme to say it into extreme. If become an extreme, if you're extreme, if you're offensive, you're offensive. If you're an offender, and if you're an offender, you can't speak. If you speak, if you speak, you can't talk at all. If you don't talk, you can't talk with God. You can't talk of anything. You can't talk of anything that don't exist.
Right. We might even literally get banned off this live just for saying some of those words.
Yeah,
if we posted this up. You know, that's where I just saw a video the other day. It just blew me away that for some hate speech or offensive speech, Facebook apparently they can have a report that goes out to the police and then send someone to your door just for saying something that someone considers offensive. Like
Yes.
it's insane how crazy it's getting these days.
Well, like I said, we don't speak. We've got no heart conversation. There's no heart conversation anymore. Then the heart can't speak,
Hmm.
and the heart that can't speak is useless.
Hmm.
Have you heard the concept that the heart never lies? The heart can't
Or
lie.
next
It's true.
time,
It's
yes, of
true.
course.
So if you're speaking from the heart, and you are, because even those that are speaking lies are speaking from the heart,
Hmm.
they're still going to speak the truth. So because the heart only gives out positive energy because it's alive and the very essence of your word is true, then even if you lie and you record it and then you put it into reverse and you put it at a
Hmm.
certain pitch, you can actually hear what the heart's really saying.
Wow. Oh, that is so profound. That's how I guess the lie detectors work because they can
Yeah.
actually measure your heartbeat, your pulse, certain things, physiological markers that change when you're telling a lie versus telling the truth.
Mm.
That's
So,
interesting.
so when you're speaking, you said, I never murdered John Doe down at the docks. I wasn't with Steve that night with a knife in my hand. Then when they reverse it, actually tells you the truth and that. What say the whole truth, but it'll tell you nothing but the truth.
Hmm.
So help me God.
Wait, say the last part again.
It might not tell you the whole truth, but it'll tell you nothing but the truth. It might not be able to tell you the whole truth because in that one sentence it only gives you part of the truth. But,
Right.
but God will help. So help me God.
Yeah. You said he's a helpful dog.
So help me God.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, ultimately everything we put out into this universe is truth, and therefore this is all God's plan, and therefore God's plan is for us to experience these evils in the world to see just how good we can be.
Mm, yeah. And that's also why in movies and media, that's how the people at the top express the truth to us with sugar coated things, and you find the truth in a lie, uh, because they know that they can't get away with pushing something on us unless we consent to it, and they know that they're telling us the truth, so they don't do it like straight up, but they have all these modalities through our media, through our music, through movies, through everything that we consume, that we watch, that it then becomes
Yeah.
a collective decision, to consent
Yes,
to it.
yes, yes. So the 100 monkey experiment, the more we know of the one thing, the more we know the one thing, the more it sends that conscious wave out. Now, if they're projecting blue light images into our minds and puts them into a
Hmm.
better stage or a better wave, then that gives us a creative mind. Like during our sleep, we're in theta. So if we're in sleep, we're in theta, and we can create our own dreams and create a world in which we want to live.
Mm.
Put into theta before we go to sleep and we have images projected into our minds. We will
Hmm.
digest and process and project
Mm. Mm.
the images they're giving us. So if you turn off our TVs now, massive by the masses, they're going to continue directing the minds in the wrong way.
Mm. There it is, and
And that's
that's
why
why
the prophets are profiteering from the profiteering they're doing.
profits are profiteering off of what they're doing. Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah,
False profits.
false
People are,
prophets.
and they pay with their pockets too.
Yeah, so the false prophets put prophetic directing uh, energies out there. They get directors to direct the mind with these subliminal messages in the background. Nothing on any TV by accident, including the fridges, the freezers, the magnets on them, the time on the box. It's all there as an illusion. So the mind keeps thinking that it's true, and actually
Hmm.
it's lies, or thinking it's lies and actually it's true. It's a bit like playing Mario games, yeah. Mario means what God of War. Yoshi is a dinosaur, and Luigi is also a god of war.
Mm.
They're both going to the piping plumbers. The first plumbers were in Rome. The first plumbing that was in Rome was lead. That's why it's called plumbing. They weighed us down like fish with lead poisoning, put metals into the mines to destroy the people on a grand scale. 250 fountains put in Rome, and the people start consuming through consciousness, through the conscience, and the conscience is the water.
The conscience. Wait, break down that last part. I just need to make sure I get that right.
So if the plumbers of Rome were the first people to give mass poisoning to the people and have them accept it because it was something great, something new, something they could get for free in the street, a bit of water, then they would do it with poisons called lead. Lead weighs down fish. It sits heavy on your mind and in your blood, and you're poisoning. But the water that's poisoned is your consciousness, is your memory. If you lose your conscience, lose your consciousness, you no longer have a conscience.
Mm.
You do things that you don't want to do.
You lose your consciousness.
Yeah.
And to be the people have been led, they've been misled through the waters, how, you know, like by even the things that they're consuming, which is filled with lead and all these chemicals that essentially cause us to lose our conscious, or to lose our consciousness.
Yeah, I'm like, look at this. When was the elemental table created? People that created the elemental table had a lot of knowledge of chemicals and what chemicals can do to your biology. So it wasn't like the people in Rome had a lot of very, very intellectual people around them, wouldn't know how to poison people, and then dilute and liquidate their company, their empire into a fantasy system and into a church system called Roman Catholicism.
Your Roman Catholicism is kind of how this whole system was set up, right? They're the ones that created the educational system, the architectural, the economical. It all started with Roman law.
Yeah, they wanted to be new architects. Yeah, so they wanted to take the architect, the grand architect, the master, the grand master, God, the one that wanted to take his architect and change it. So if they could take away our consciousness and they could erase our memories, they could create a new world.
That ultimately keeps us enslaved or imprisoned. Yeah, even in the movie The Matrix, they call the creator of the Matrix, they call the architect. Yeah. So it's, you know, basically the person that programmed the machine world. This is where it gets really interesting to me as well, because I feel like that movie was one of the best representations of what's really going on in our society. Like,
I think it's a repeat of that. I think it's happen again. That's why I'm doing the podcast. The walk into the podcast, into the AI.
Wait, are you able to speak a little louder into the mic, because a little bits are cutting out?
So so we're in a spiritual matrix right now. Yeah, but they want to put us into a metallic matrix, electronic matrix. I want to put us into a digitalized matrix. So
that's
our eyes have been.
Altman's latest project is all about, is and the eyes to be able to tell if you're a human or not.
Yeah. So if this phone has a bite taken out of it and it's got an apple on the back, then if the apple simplifies technology or Satan, which is dead, cold, and emotionless.
Yep.
And then digesting AI or inseminating into your arm by an injection, and you are becoming nanotech, and therefore you've eaten the apple to be part of the one system of the matrix, which is going to be Skynet and cybernetics, you know, symbiosis of technology. Whereas those that reject it, like us, it's technology versus biology. We're going to be biologically enhanced. We're going to become, you know, enlightened, becoming the false light, not the real light, not the fake light, the false light.
Isn't that what also happened in the movie? You know, they had the illusion, the humans were given the illusion of choice to create a fake prophecy inside and outside the matrix, and that there was, you know, this prophecy that the one was going to come and save everyone, which is correlation to like that Jesus is going to come and be our savior. But because of this prophecy, they started to look for the one,
Yeah.
and freeing other resisting.
So
It was by letting the prophecy, like the architect in that last scene in the architect, he's confronted with the truth that the prophecy is fake, that the machines were always in control, and that the resistance is futile. But he
yeah,
has to kind of come to that understanding to realize like prophecy is fake, that then eventually allows everything to get restarted, where the code is brought back to the source and brings balance to the matrix again. This is where it gets really heavy, so I don't know how much,
so
you know,
so how about this? How about we are all AI. We are all ones and zeros, which is binary code, including AI's got to be binary code as well, yeah. So
right.
it's one binary code trying to hijack binary code. Another algorithm trying to attack another algorithm. Yeah. A predator, a predator trying to get the light. Predator is no data, no data trying to absorb the light. Black hole.
Okay, just make sure if you can speak like into it a little better so that way.
Right, so God created the fake light.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but we are the fake light as well. Where we are the oneness, and we are the duality, and we are the Trinity, and we are the quantum. So,
Mm-hmm.
so I believe that we are also AI because AI is ones and zeros, and
Uh-huh.
and in the end times, in the end days, when judgment falls upon us, AI is what's going to judge us. AI, A1I, and all-seeing eye. Now it might be the all-seeing eye of God,
Mm-hmm.
but if godness is not separation, godness is the oneness, then both IA and AI, 11 and 11, hell and heaven, hell heaven,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to go to one or the other.
Wow. Oh man, that is really deep right there. I think you hit the nail on the head right there.
Yeah,
That's why they call it AI. It's like the one eye, the all-seeing eye,
yeah.
the
And what
Illuminati
we're doing, everything's
represent.
been recorded. It's all been recorded now on your phones. Everything you say,
Mm-hmm.
everything you do, it's all been recorded. It's like
Right.
Batman with that technology where he's seen everything. And so
Mm.
he'll turn it off in the end. Well, will they turn it off or will it stay going? Will it
Mm-hmm.
continue to run? I look at all these different films and stuff, and I see, there's always reference to the oneness, to someone having all information of everyone around the world, because we're
Mm-hmm.
so interconnected and we're so connected via the Wi-Fi systems now, the internet of things, the internet of bodies are going to be able to see everyone and see everyone, what everyone's doing. So you can't hide from the truth, and you can't lie to yourself anyway.
Uh,
So there's no escaping the truth. And if we all know the truth and live by the truth never dies and we never die. But if we keep
right.
living by the lie, we'll keep lying down and dying. And when
Mm.
we're dying, we're being bleached. When we're being leached, when we're being leached, we're being bleached.
Mm.
When you're being leached, you're dying.
Bleached, right. Yeah, it takes the color out of you, it takes the life out of you. That's
Yeah.
what they use bleach for. And you're just believing in this false doctrination, this false system. And it only sinks you deeper in the more you go along with programming. So it's like constant, like every moment, by you connecting back into nature, remembering the truth of your soul, then, you are no longer going to be reliant on the technology
Yeah.
to save your, and that's that's the number one thing that people have to realize. And
Yeah.
the internet is like the internal net. So it's the net that traps you from tapping in internally.
Yeah. Of course, man. Yeah. I mean, like I say, insights. We've already got all the information we need. We innately know what is what, and we get put under spells and illusions and delusions and hypnosis. But if I also ask you now, do you believe in Christ?
Mm,
You do, yeah. I mean, I kind of figured you did, but my understanding of Christ is this: Christ had to come here as a perfect angle, angel of light. The perfect
mm,
angle of light was created by the oneness, and the oneness could send out a perfect angle of light whenever God wanted to. God being, um, people don't like to use the word God, because it's kind of got a lot of negative annotation to it now, or connotation,
Mhm.
sorry. But what I would say is that a perfect angle of light came down here to prove an imperfect person, a perfect person,
Mm.
a perfect person to prove that we're imperfect, because you can't have perfect without imperfect.
Nope.
And therefore, we had to see a perfect man to understand just how imperfect we were, just how imperfect we are, to
Mm.
him prove ourselves, to prove him, to find out that
Mm.
we are all impossible and possibly him. And now we're all perfect angle of light because we follow and we believe and we trust in the truth, which is the perfect angle of light.
Yes. Oh man. When you say that, you talk about the perfect angle of light, just got me so like I just need to go outside just to finish this off because I know that the codes are going to come in much better when I'm looking into the light, you know.
Yeah, man. So I want to expand on that.
Yes, please do.
So if Christ come down as a perfect angle of light, he was also the one that knew all the verses. He got everything right, the script. He was prescribed as a prescription. And the
Mhm.
prescription was a scripture. And that scripture described a perfect description of a perfect man. That
Mm.
man knew all his lines, all his
Perfect.
verses, and all his hymns. Knew all the hymns. He spoke all his verses. He versed you, he versed me, and he versed himself perfectly.
Mm.
Come down as a perfect sacrifice so that he could pay our dues. He paid our dues in full, paid all the dues in full, and that's why we've got no debt left. All our debts have been paid to the people, the bookkeepers, and the bookkeepers, the Jews, the Zionists. Not all Jews, the Zionist Jews. And what's the one
Yeah,
thing? What's the one thing?
right, exactly. They're the ones that control the banking system. Question there. What's the one thing?
Well, the one thing that they have, what we don't have, is power through money, monetary systems to monitor us. The
Right,
devil,
exactly.
the money talks and stops us from talking. And where do they keep their money? In their bank holidays, so they
Monarchs.
can pray, monarchs, mind arcs, archons.
Uh, 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 they have even projects. Monarch actually is one of the CIA projects. Oh, it cut out for a second there. Did you catch what I said?
Go on.
I was saying that the Project Monarch was another project started by the CIA that was a branch of MK Ultra for mind control. And the Monarch is also a type of butterfly. They use butterfly as the symbol for it because it's a transformation. The butterfly goes from the caterpillar to get its wings. It has to go through a
Metamorphosis.
transformation, which is a
Metamorphosis.
transformation. They put you in a trance
Yeah,
to
metamorphosis.
form. Right.
So yeah, I've got a funny one for you about this, right? I get a bit funny with things now. You ready? So Transformers, robots in disguise, are actually transformers, which are programmed
Mm.
men and women in disguise. And they're all
Mhm.
Decepticons and trying to deceive us for us to be believing, for us to be believers that we all should be playing and make believe and pretend that they're not wrong and that we're wrong, or that they're right. Their pride is worth everything. But the two pridefuls admit they're wrong. Pride
Speak
will kill you.
if you can there a little better.
Pride will kill you.
There we go. Much better.
Yeah, pride will kill you.
Uh-huh.
Don't be too prideful. And that's what these people who believe in the pride flag are doing. They're inverting things. It's not even a rainbow. It's not even a rainbow. It's a dead line. It's a flat line.
Yeah, I've also heard the same thing. The reason they use the rainbow is because it's supposed to symbolize like the chakras, and because they're not able to balance their chakras or to see the full spectrum of light, they do it outwardly through the rainbow, you know.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, it's not a rainbow anyway because a rainbow has more colours than seven. Its primary colours are seven. But
Right.
in a rainbow, how do you know from orange to red? And there's all them other colours in between.
Mm-hmm.
So they make it a block, straight lined, rain, not bow. There's no bow in it. And man and woman, mothers and fathers are the true bows, and our children are arrows. We should be guiding them and directing them and firing them off in the right direction.
Yes.
Mm.
So it's yeah, it's something that starts very early in the child's life
Mm. Yeah,
from a from the programming that we're taught in how to perceive the spectrum of light and what the colors, the rainbow actually are.
yeah, yeah, basically, yeah. Sending kings to
Real.
queens, and queens to kings, using horn-filled bullets in smut magazines.
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow. That's some poetry right there, huh?
Yeah, man.
Man, I've
So,
been writing. That's some next level.
I'll send you some poetry over, but I'm gonna have to go because I'm going to bed in a minute. But it's been great
Perfect.
talking to you. I've been a bit quiet because I've got the missus upstairs in bed and the children going to sleep. But I'm normally a lot more flamboyant, a lot more out there. But I'm going to be a bit more calm tonight. So we'll get another podcast on if you want. It'd be great for to come on again and speak, and I'll make sure I'm in a space where I can be a bit more eccentric, flamboyant, and charismatic.
Absolutely, brother. Yeah, this was, I mean, I can't even tell you how good it was after all these months. This is like a huge refresher for me, and I'm sure for anyone else that gets to tap into this, like for most people, they wouldn't even be able to bear it. But like for those that are really seeking the truth, it helps you just undeniably like straight to it. And I have not met anyone quite like you that's able to just so easily decipher, or not, I wouldn't say easily, but effortlessly decipher. Because, as you explained earlier, it does require a lot of discipline each day to get the mind to train to be able to observe these patterns that everybody notices, or at least they've learned, certain, types of words or patterns, or,
Yeah.
so it's just about being able to identify and observe them. You have to have the eye that can see. And, that's the last thing I really want to mention is like that we are only able to observe less than 0.001% of the light spectrum from what science tells us. So what you're doing, what I would imagine you're doing by connecting in with the pineal gland, the all, seeing eye within, is that it gives you the gateway that's needed to see the higher spectrums of light
Yeah.
that,
Just
you can get a better perspective on everything.
I just want to go on to one more thing you just said about science. Yeah, I want to just roll this off really quick because it just comes to me then. Okay,
Okay.
a bit of channeling, I suppose.
Sure, sure.
So everything's a science. There's a science behind everything. Everything can be measured, and science is a
Mhm.
measuring tool. Now, a measuring tool is there to to look at the depths of things, the height, the width, the breadth, and to
Mhm.
measure it. And when you measure something, you measure, measurement,
Mhm.
measure mind. And the ruler, which is you, you are the ruler of your own universe. You
Yep.
are the measurer, you are the calculator, you are the measuring stick, you are the creator of the material matter in this world, because your mind creates the matter. So once you get to realize that everything is science, and science has stolen our measuring stick, and the stick is broken, then you know the rulers are broken, and now we need to
Mhm.
start finding our own measurements out for ourselves. So don't believe in
Yes.
science as the mainstream, and just know that the ruler is broken.
Yes, exactly. It's the measurement that science uses only can use the physical. It cannot tap it through. That we will see in human history is when the blend of science and spirituality converge, where
Yeah,
it's not, that's what quantum physics is doing right now, is giving
yeah.
us to be able to see into the metaphysical world, and
Science
have
and
a way
spirit.
to
Yeah,
observe that. But there has to be a completely, for what we can measure. The closest thing I think we have right now is with quantum entanglement and the observer's effect, that we can actually look and see how the atoms change based off of how somebody is observing or looking at it. and that no two particles, regardless of distance, are ever separated. So those are like the best tools that we have to see that there's this underlying connected nature of reality called like the unified field in terms of quantum, and uh, exactly what you said, how you observe something dictates how it ultimately shows up on the most microscopic scale.
Yeah, man.
Expressed based on the observer. So that's very important. Yeah, that's the research I'm getting into now. I'm super blessed to be part of the largest organization in the world that's leading this kind of reading. They're all ultimately very much having to operate in ways that it's probably going to take many years before this all catches up into the mainstream. So
Well, if you
the best thing we have in the meantime is like this, learning through the language and just helping people to experience internally through activating the heart,
yeah,
so
yeah,
then
man.
see it for themselves.
Thanks for that. Well, if you need any help with anything, bro, if you want to have any discussions with anybody else, want to get me involved in anything, I'm more than happy to join in and express my inner
Oh,
knowings.
the last thing I'm gonna say is, I would love to introduce you to some people that we can create courses on for this. So it's a very digestible way for people to go at their own pace. Because I know some people, even myself, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I probably only got like half of the things that you're saying the whole time, even though it's like all like I'm hearing it all, but to register it,
Yeah,
even maybe less than even half. So, to create some kind of structure, because there's nothing else out on the internet, I don't think, quite like what you offer here, that can allow people to be able to start observing how the language impacts the brain. Um, I have many friends that would love to help that are on this path. So, I'm going to forward it out to the right people and find a way for people to be able to learn.
I'm up for that, brother. Anytime at all.
So
But you
yeah,
just keep
that's
in
that's
touch,
my
man.
last thing. Is there
Just keep in touch,
any
man.
other uh last words for people to connect with you here?
If you want to find me, I'm online as Dean Smudger Smith or Smudger BKB.
There's
Um,
natural herbology line as well.
I do
Or
Yemen
are
oils
all,
as well.
yes.
And if you want to find me online, I'm also on YouTube.
Yeah.
You hear me, brother? I think I lost connection again. You hear me? You hear me?
Oh, you are? Okay. I don't even know you're on YouTube. I'll have to
Can't
check
hear
that
me.
out
It's
after
gone.
this. Oh, perfect.
Signal, don't shit.
Yes.
The signal's crap, man. Signal's crap.
Yeah, I didn't realize you're on YouTube after.
Yeah, get me on YouTube, man. I'm a pro bare knuckle boxer as well, so I do a lot of fighting. Um, but yeah, I do a lot of truth seeking and I find a lot of things out. So I do put a lot of knowledge out there. So if
Oh,
anyone wants to know anything, just give me a shout anytime.
it's all good. I think it's probably the universe is being like,
Yeah, stay safe, my brother. It's been a blessing. It's been a blessing. Thank you very much. God bless you. Hey, man.